Hey there, party people. We're back with episode 2 to go over what the daily responsibilities are going to be like for teachers, what it'll be like for students, and how instruction has changed in the pandemic. We are going landscape mode so that we can hopefully have a better view this week. Okay, here we are again. It is already the start of instruction in person and online, and I'll give you a little bit of a background about how those decisions were made in terms of what instruction looks like and what our school decided to do. So basically, in the middle of summer, they gave notification that they would start in-person learning, and school administrators were told basically to figure it out. The city gave very few specifics about what that would look like, but they did give kids an option whether they wanted to come in person on a blended system or be completely remote. So the school decided how many cohorts they would have. Our school chose 3 cohorts for in-person. So that means over the course of 3 weeks, each kid attends school 5 days.
So when looking at the 3 cohorts, we basically created a schedule where Tuesdays Group A, Wednesdays Group B, Thursdays Group C, and then Mondays and Fridays flip between those 3 groups.
Group D is completely remote. So that means those kids never come to school. Just walked by a man peeing on the sidewalk. It's like 8 in the morning. You know, New York City. Anywho, then after we decided what cohorts and how to run that, we had to figure out how instruction would actually look when kids are in person. Online instruction, obviously there's a lot of variations of how that looked, but our most pressing was obviously in person because of the safety issues. So in terms of who made the decisions about how instruction looks, we actually had a group of teachers that over the summer met frequently with the principal and assistant principal at my school and tried to make decisions that would benefit both the students and the teachers and the whole school community as best as we possibly could. At first, the administration thought that we would just run things business as usual. So kids would move class to class, and this was all when information was still coming out from the CDC about what schools should actually look like. Our school works really hard to include teachers in making some decisions, which puts a lot of burden on teachers, but it also empowers us to make decisions that are going to help everybody in the community. So I was on the consultation team all summer long, having meetings with the administration, and there's about maybe 6 teachers on that committee. And then we formed a reopening committee and made decisions about what instruction would look like for us. And we got super creative and just thought about what our school community is, and it's we promoted to the students what it would look like, because the city was telling parents and families publicly we're gonna have face-to-face instruction, and then they're gonna go home and they're gonna have another teacher, and then the all remote kids are gonna have a different teacher. But in reality, the chancellor and the mayor were just saying this because that was the idea, if it was the perfect situation, which we know it's not. So it did not turn out to be like that. After we had more information about kind of some health and safety issues, we looked at a few different models. We looked at a model where kids would be socially distanced in a room wearing masks and teachers would move from room to room. And then we looked at a model where kids would come in and basically spend the whole day in one classroom on a device, and 2 teachers would be paired with that group of kids to kind of monitor and facilitate their learning. We ended up choosing that model. We called it the one-room schoolhouse because basically whoever was in that room is assisting that student on whatever work they were assigned from all their teachers. So they were supporting English and math and science. Officers behind me, and none of them have masks, not a single one of them, and there was maybe 20 officers there. So you can see why it's so difficult to get everybody to comply when even public figures are not wearing them. Just a little tidbit. So when I first get into school every day, after I set everything down, I open all the windows, I open the device cart so that kids can get computers out, and usually I sanitize all the student desks as well as my desk. And I wipe everything down. I tell the kids to do the same thing so that, you know, just in case somebody touched whatever it is. And you can see my setup. I'm super fortunate. I have 2 desktop computers. My mom actually gave me this mic, which is awesome. And I have my sanitizer pump. I have all my other cleaning supplies. And then you can see the desks are set up. They each have their own sanitizer pump. There's like notebooks and planners and pens up there. And then they have instructions to wash their hands when they come in, wipe down the desk and chair, get a device, wipe it down with an alcohol pad, then use a hand sanitizer or wash their hands. There's actually a sink across the hall. There's also instructions on like where to go online and what to do. So many of the students are actually coming in with their own devices, but I'm encouraging them to get a school device so that they can sit down and have like one screen for Zoom and one screen for whatever coursework they're doing, which is I think one major advantage for them to come in, other than just having like a safe, quiet, relatively quiet. I don't know if you can hear that, but there is unfortunately, you can't see it, but construction outside, so it's a little noisy, but they have headphones, or we provide them with headphones so that they can kind of tune that stuff out. Okay, day 1 of in-person learning is done. I was supposed to have maybe 5 kids in my room, but only 2 showed up. I asked them at the end of the day whether they felt like it was worth it and whether they appreciated if they, that they came in, and, are they excited about coming back? They weren't like overly enthusiastic, but I don't think any kid is, especially a teenager, but they did indicate that they were happy that they came in, and they actually would like to come in 5 days a week. So I'm going to talk to the administration and see if it's possible to allow kids, since we're not at the capacity that we could be, to allow kids to stay all week and just have some days where there's a few more kids. But it seems like it was a success. So just an update, there are no kids in my room right now. Nobody showed up. It's also freezing, so I have a heated blanket and like boots on. It is 67.7 because the windows have to stay open since there are no vents.
Thank you guys for watching episode 2. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about what the day-to-day stuff is like and the organization of classes. Hopefully if you like and subscribe down here, I can give you more information about what it's like to run a virtual classroom and some of the challenges there, as well as what the students experience day to day. Thanks everybody. Bye.